back for that bottom area. Reason being, so when I could snap that off like that, I could come in right here and remove that like that. So I have that and that. And that's why I didn't break this, because I got a nice break on this piece here. All right. So you can use your breaker, grouses. Here, I would choose to just come right in there and pop that down. So there we go. See a little hard spot here. All right, just less shavings. And that's it. Number 36. Take a little bit more off. Go ahead and put that pattern down, put that piece down. Oh, I didn't lose it. It's right there. That's part of 25. 24 is a leaf as well. Another tiny one. All right, so let's get 35, 34. Folks see me do that every now and then. I do that to get the little glass dust shards out of the bearing on the wheel. Right here. You can feel it by going, you're not pushing, you can feel if you have it in the wheel just by moving. If there's any resistance, you can feel it. Save that for later. And then going back and forth, I'm feeling the edge of the pattern with the wheel, just to confirm that I'm on it. And sometimes you just gotta just to make sure you're on the edge. Right. That. And this whole time, yeah, it's not a matter of bragging about not having to use a grinder. It's more or less explaining the importance of being accurate. You know, and I point out, when I cut to the template, there's no give or leeway, put it that way. It's right to the actual template. All right, so you put that down, 55's done, and then we have 34. I just gotta have to shop back. Small one. This is just binding up more than I care. There you go. Cool. And again, even a larger pattern like this, you want to leave everything in whole so you can get, cut it being able to hold on to it. So it gives you something to grab onto. See, I got a little shard right there. So again, you could take that and grind it. Well, take it down with the carborundum. So it's a rule to be nice to the foilers. You know, they get a piece, they bring it back to you, say, what's that? Get that off there. All right, 34. Is whenever you're working with glass, you have to be really careful and respect what it can do. I mean, glass is just very unpredictable at times, and not for the most part. You know, it goes and does what you want it to do. But if it does your curveball, you really have to, you know, you're not expecting it. You get cut in the worst ways when you don't expect it. And it's not fun. Even the little shards, you know, get stuck in your fingers and you slip and you cut your thumb, your finger. It's not fun. I should be cutting out the rest so I can lay out this more strategically. But I have some of these other petals. They're going to be about the same size. So what I'm going to do is prepare for the others. And they don't have to line up perfectly with the water glass. They can be a little off. Because sometimes that being a little off can actually add appeal to your piece. So what I'm going to do is, using this as a guide, we're going to go ahead and this wheel is binding up. I'll figure it out later. There we go. So I know I can get more out of this. Plus I have more here. So 21. Save a little glass by doing that. Whenever you cut patterns like this, don't go to the end. You know, don't do that, because it's going to make it impossible to shape that edge. So give yourself a little bit. I mean, you're not wasting glass. All right, and being you got a big piece here, that's fine, but you really want to work with the point here, which is going to be the most difficult area. So what I do is start scoring this.